In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 9 things to consider when applying to college. Hello fam, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Molly. On this channel, we talk about faith, we talk about education, we talk about money, and we also talk about personal growth. So if these are things you're interested in learning more about, definitely consider clicking on the red subscribe button to join the family. Okay, with the intro out of the way, let's get started with today's video. The first thing to consider when applying to a university or to a college, I would say definitely to do some research and to also set up visits. These can be either in-person visits or they can be a virtual visit, especially with the current situation that is happening right now worldwide. You definitely need to reach out to the school to see what they are offering as far as that aspect. So now that you have done some research and have learned a little bit more about these potential colleges or potential universities, I would say the second thing to consider is to write down 5 of your top colleges that you learn about, research about, and that you visited. Now that you have written down your top 5 colleges or universities that you're desiring to attend, the next step would be asking for a letter of recommendations. So these can be from either your high school counselors. These can be also from your employers if you're working. And then also they can be from club administrators. So if you're involved in any after school activities or any clubs, you can definitely ask those people to write a letter of recommendation for you. Okay, so now that you've gotten the letter of recommendation out of the way, the next thing to consider is to understand what are the scores requirement for your standardized tests. So these are your SATs, your ACTs, and for those who English is not their first language, you might be required to do a TOEFL test. So definitely you need to reach out to the college or the university to find out what is their scores requirement for those standardized tests. So now that you have figured out their scores requirement for your standardized tests, the next thing to consider is what application engine that you're going to be using. I know for some schools, they allow our future students to apply directly to the schools, and sometimes they do waive the application fees depending on your situation. And then for the bigger schools, they recommend a application engine called Common Application. So on that website, I think the amount, if I'm not mistaken, is probably $90 to $100. So that's definitely is a bit steep. But the thing about that application engine is that you create one profile, right? And then you can apply to multiple schools through that one profile. So when you think about it, the $100 is definitely worth it. For example, if you're applying to like 10 schools, so each of those schools you'll be kind of like paying $10 for each application if you think about it that way. Before we go any further, have you clicked on that red subscribe button at the bottom? Yeah, I'm asking you. What are you waiting for? So moving on, the 6th thing to consider is to know when the college application deadline are. You definitely want to keep this in mind. And where you can find this information is definitely at the school's websites. So for each college, they will have their specific application deadline. So keep that in mind. And if this is a school that you're desiring to attend, I would advise that you write down the deadlines for the application in a little notepad or your journal or something, so that is always on your mind, because you don't want to miss those deadlines. You don't want to miss it at all. Next thing to consider as far as for applications and stuff is to create an application team. So creating a application team definitely allows you to stand out among the crowd. And if you know that this school that you're applying to is a very popular school, that most students wants to go to this school, and then I would say create a little team that makes you stand out among all of them. And yeah, because that would definitely help you in the long run. Okay, so the next thing to consider is writing an outstanding essay. This is very important. So in this essay, you can write about your past experiences, you can write about your present experiences, and also you can add your future goals. I know that a lot of times when it comes to universities and students, we tend to think like, oh yeah, I'm just going to that school and I'm going to gain my education and that's about it. However, it is not just what you are gaining from the university, but it's also what the university is gaining from you. Because once you complete your 4 years of college at that school, you become alumni of that school. So you are representing the school wherever place you get to put in an application, you have that school written right there. So you are literally a mouthpiece for the university that you are attending. So therefore, when it comes to picking students, universities are very key to knowing what exactly this person is going to add to our school. So when I say writing an outstanding essay, that is what I meant. Like putting in your best work. So letting this university know that when I come to your school, I have the potential of becoming a great alumni for you guys down the line. So yeah, think about that. So finally, the last thing to consider is to figure out how you're going to be able to afford your college tuition. I know a lot of times when people get to this stage, they tend to back off because of their financial situation. I will say to you, do not back off. Even if you feel like, I'm not able to afford this, or my parents are not at this stage of paying for college for me, don't give up, because there are a lot of options out there for people who wants to, go to school or want to continue school. There are a lot of options out there. I know that the government do offer students grants. So that's one path that you can definitely look into. And also, I know that some schools do offer scholarships to prospect students. So that's another path that you can definitely look into. And then lastly, I know there are some private sectors who are out there and have a lot of money and are willing to give students the opportunity to study or to further up their studies. So definitely look into those 3 things that I just named and see where you can get money from. I would say definitely don't give up and say, well, I'm not able to afford college, so therefore I'm just gonna, not even attempt. Don't do that. Wherever there is a will, there is a way. So if you have a desire to attend college and financially you may not be able to afford it, there is always a way. So find that way and see what happens. Okay, fam, we have come to the end of today's video. This was very fun recording. I hope you've learned something today from this content. And if so, please consider sharing this video with your loved ones. And also, please click on the red subscribe button at the bottom of the screen and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the information that have been shared on here. And also don't forget to turn on your notification buttons so that way you do not miss any of the future videos that I post on here. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Bye for now.